morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. My name is Zen, one of the co-founders at Liberty Finance, and I'm happy to share with you our latest community update on the 2nd of November 2023. And looking forward to sharing with you how we've progressed through the project, some of the latest developments that we've made, as well as some of the traction that we're gaining as we continue along this amazing journey of building a solution that's both inclusive and accessible to all market participants. So what I'd like to just sort of cover today with you guys during the update is go through a welcome and introduction to Liberty Finance. I think it's always important to reiterate what it is that we're about, where we've come from, and what it is that we do. We'll then delve into the technology, the project, and also the traction that we're gaining in terms of an update. I'll then also like to introduce you guys to Genius X. They are one of the new partners formed with Liberty Finance. If you had been following our socials, you would note that we had announced that recently, and we're part of the accelerator program. So I'll talk a bit around the value that we're getting there and the plans for the future with Genius X. And this will segue then into our roadmap, where we will be looking at where we're at, what are the plans for the next couple of weeks, and then finally any questions and answers that you may need. You're more than welcome to post them to our socials, and we'll go through that, and then we'll close off the actual update. So really, what is Liberty Finance and what are we about? So really the goal is Liberty Finance will be the world's first Sharia approved decentralized exchange. And by Sharia approved, it really isn't to say that we are an exclusive platform, but rather we are an inclusive platform. And what's really interesting is when you look at the fundamental principles that guide Islamic finance and Sharia finance, they speak to transparency, they speak to ethics, they speak to fairness, and really these principles align very closely to our core belief system of what crypto should be and what the crypto world should be. We feel there's such a solid connection between both of them that it just makes sense for us to drive this forward. But also there's a huge opportunity in the market for this, and there's a huge gap currently that needs to be filled, and Liberty Finance will be filling that specific gap. We're also a platform and a solution that's built by traders for traders. The core members of Liberty Finance have been involved in the crypto space for many years, since early days back in 2015. We've actively built, traded, and worked in the space, and really we're bringing all this experience to what it is that we're doing. Our sort of guiding principle is that custody should not be given up for the sake of convenience. And I think we really saw this, last year, where we had all these challenges with centralized exchanges and centralized platforms. And we believe that users that utilize these platforms are doing so for the sake of convenience because they're easier to use than DeFi. And really our goal is to say that you shouldn't give up custody. We should bring that convenience to you without you having to do that. And really what we want to aim to do is unlock the future of financial freedom for all our users. So why now specifically are we doing this? Well, currently $3.75 trillion is the total assets that are under management in the Islamic finance industry. And this is expected to sort of grow to about 5.5 trillion by 2025. This is a massive market cap, and it's a massive market that's been largely ignored and largely missed when it comes to DeFi and when it comes to the blockchain technology offerings that we have. If we mirror sort of proportions to traditional finance with the last crypto sort of bull cycles, we're looking at a potential serviceable market for our DeFi platform of 9.6 billion. I think the other side of it is that existing Islamic financial institutions still rely on really slow and inefficient technology to facilitate lending. And one of the things that we've developed in our technology is a way to facilitate this, where these transactions happen in seconds, where typically now currently it takes days. And I think the last sort of point to why now is that even though there's been a lot of innovation in the DeFi space and the decentralized exchange space, there's still a massive barrier to entry for Web2 users. So our big focus on customer experience and user experience is really going to ensure adoption of our solution. So just taking you through a quick journey on Liberty Finance and how we started and where we are at the moment. Initially, we were planned as a simple swap protocol to support the Gather chain. The FTX saga really set in motion the development of a full end-to-end trading solution to compete with centralized exchanges. We then realized for DeFi to be accessible to all, Islamic finance support needed to be mandated. The development of the first decentralized Islamic lending protocol then meant that that would be the way to make DeFi more accessible. And the creation of this protocol really then allowed us to realize that we needed to reach more users and expand, and a decision was then made to co-launch on Arbitrum. And then finally, this has now led us to building of our first real-world TradeFi offering, using all this sort of technology and protocol that we've created, using some really cool things on Arbitrum, one of them being Arbitrum Orbit, that we're really excited about, to allow us to actually build this real-world sort of TradeFi offering. So just at a high level, what is our DeFi solution? Well, our DeFi solution really speaks to three pillars. The first being it's a decentralized trading exchange. And really it's a focus on not just being a traditional DEX, but to bring in a lot of centralized exchange features. It's also a decentralized marketplace where we have attractive sort of lending solutions that are available to all. A lot of focus on incentivized participation, and even some really cool innovative features like single-sided staking through our Mana vaults. And lastly, it's an education hub. For us, core team members, for myself and for Chris, we come from a very long sort of education background. I'm specifically really involved in EdTech. Chris has been involved in education for many years, and education is really close to our hearts. And we believe one of the big challenges in the space at the moment is the lack of education and the lack of understanding. And we're putting big emphasis on this, and we're putting big focus on rewarding individuals for going through our educational courses, for upskilling themselves, for learning how to manage their own custody, for protecting their wallets and protecting their security and those sort of things. We've run a number of masterclasses recently that a number of you have attended. We'll be starting to delve into a lot of these topics, and there's definitely going to be more masterclasses coming in the coming weeks. In terms of our B2B or traditional finance solution, I think this really sets us apart. We are indeed a real-world project now generating real-world income. A lot of the existing and current crypto projects that exist really only service the crypto industry itself or service the ecosystem that they're within. LibFi is really using blockchain technology now to build a real-world solution that actually generates real-world revenue. It's a solution that will be used not just by the crypto community, but by the traditional finance community as well. And as part of this build, as part of our mandate, we will be then driving up to 70% of all revenue generated in the real world work that we're doing to our Mana Vault participants. So how will this real world sort of functionality work? Well, this is being delivered by something we're labeling as IFAS, or Islamic Financing as a Service. And really what IFAS allows LibFi, through private chains on Arbitrum Orbit, to facilitate what we call a deferred purchase commodity-based lending model for the Islamic market. So our engine allows both existing and traditional financiers the opportunity to tap into a $2.7 trillion lending market currently. And this is also growing at a rate of around 13.5% year on year. And the bridge that we've developed will enable the Islamic finance DeFi lending to run in a DeFi space using the same technology and using the same lending liquidity that we're securing. And this is also then going to allow us to introduce our Trade Boost feature, where we will really be offering the first Sharia-approved form of margin or boosted trading utilizing these methodologies. And we're really excited about that because it unlocks a whole host of new trading capability to Islamic investors that they never had access to before. Part of our solution revolves quite centered around our Mana vaults. And our vision really with the Mana vaults is to reward all users in our ecosystem, beyond just standard liquidity pools or lending rewards. The Mana vaults will allow us to incentivize the LibX token adoption and drive demand. But at the same time, for those that support the project and those that want to utilize the services of the project, there's an opportunity to earn real yield and real reward. So part of our Mana Vault strategy, phase 1, you will be earning LibFi rewards with compound capability. So the idea really is once we launch the Mana Vaults is to earn as much Amana, as much LibFi as you can over the coming weeks and months. And then when phase 2 launches, that's when we sort of bring about real yield. And that's where the yield that will be derived from our DeFi activities as well as from our TradeFi activities will then be shared with Havana Vault participants. So that's just a bit about LibFi and where we've come to, and a bit about our project, and just to give you a really nice overview of what we're doing. But just in terms of our technology and the project and sort of a traction update, I've got some really exciting things to sort of share. I think first and foremost, we've had over 127,000 transactions tracked on our testnet. We are running a testnet airdrop program, so those that are testing our new technology, testing the stuff that we're building, are eligible for rewards at token launch. We've got more than 2,000 community members in our testing group. And we've actually deployed a whole bunch of centralized exchange features to our QA environment. And if you're watching this and you're listening, you can actually test it out at qa.libfi.io. I'm not going to post the link because it is QA and I'm just mentioning it once. So if you want to take a look, but it is going to be deployed to our testing environment for our testers to experience in the coming weeks. We're also pushing fast and hard ahead on making our solution Arbitrum testnet ready. And that's really exciting for us because it means it's going to expose our solution and our testnet to the greater Arbitrum community. And all those that are currently involved in testnet on the Gather chain will be able to bridge across into Arbitrum and also test there and be eligible for a host of other sort of exciting rewards down the line. We're close to securing almost, I would say, 3 billion in lending liquidity from commodity suppliers in terms of volume. And that's really exciting for us because that's one of the key sort of fundamental components that we need to drive our TradeFi business. We've also then pretty close to securing our first financier that does a volume of around 100 million a month in loans or lending in the Islamic market. And really what we've sort of identified is an SOM for IFAS of around 14.1 billion. And when we look at our fee structures and that, this is going to equate to a really nice revenue share that will be shared with our Mana stakers and really drive the value of the project and drive the value of our token. And another exciting thing is we've been working on our new website. A lot of these new developments and enhancements that we've been creating need a voice, need a space. And this is going to be delivered through our website, which is going to share a lot more information about what we're doing and also allow people to express interest in our IFAS offering, as well as then find out more about the project and the potential rounds that are up and coming in terms of what we're doing. In terms of Genius X, if you're not aware of them, you can go hit them up or look on our social media pages for the links that we've shared. Genius X is a phenomenal accelerator, initially focused on Cardano, but they've expanded across to Arbitrum as well. And we really met with them a couple of weeks back. They loved what we were doing. They loved the technology that we're creating and really the market that we're planning to service. And they bought into LibFi. And as part of that, we have been onboarded onto their accelerator program. And this has really given us amazing access to their mentor and investor network. Organizations like MoonPay and Revolut, we are being connected with and we are in direct discussions with, as well as direct links into the Arbitrum Foundation. And it's really just catapulted our exposure. And we're excited to see, the fruits of this in the coming weeks. They'll also support us with launch and marketing in terms of our public launch, in terms of our public sale. So we're excited to actually work with them on that. And really, they're just driving the overall growth and support of LibFi. So super excited to have them on board and really recommend that you guys check them out and join their Discord and really see a lot of the other projects that they are accelerating at the moment. They're doing some phenomenal work. So from a roadmap perspective, we're still working hard and aiming to launch our token this year, as well as our Mana vaults, with our first platform launch, mainnet launch in Q1 in 2024, as well as our TradeFi or business-to-business launch happening in Q1 of 2024 too. But I think as always, we're going to prioritize market conditions. We need to see where the market is at when we're ready to launch. We need to see where things are at to make sure that we give the project and all those of you that are supporting the project the best opportunity for success. So I think maybe last and foremost, based on this community update, if you have any questions that you'd like answered, please post them in the Telegram channel. Please send them via our socials or email us at hello@libfi.io. And we'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have or any comments that you would like to elaborate on. And really just follow us, and engage with us. Speak to us in our Telegram, speak to us in our Discord. We are very active and we are keen to always respond and have conversations with individuals about the work that we're currently doing. So that's really an update for LibFi as of the 2nd of November 2023. Really excited to have you guys with us on this journey. I think just keep following us, keep focusing on the work that we're doing, and really excited to be sharing this journey with you all. So wanted to wish you a phenomenal evening and look forward to the next update, and definitely are working on getting a Twitter Spaces going, which will be more informal, where we can also just have an active engagement and conversation about the space, about the industry, and about LibFi, and plan to do that as soon as possible. So also look out for notes and messages around that too. Have a good evening, and thank you very much.